Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are up close and personal with my vanity because I am going to be sharing with you guys and showing you, as well as swatching, my current favorite eyeshadow palettes at the moment. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, then you'll know I absolutely love eyeshadow palettes. I have a whole drawer full. I have done past collection videos here on my channel as well, but I figured since I haven't done an updated one of those in I believe 2 years now here on my channel, I would kind of walk you through my current favorites, what I am keeping up on my vanity, and what palettes I reach for on a daily basis. Because although I do have a lot of eyeshadow palettes in my collection, the ones that I like to keep up here are the best of the best palettes in my opinion. They are totally my vibe, warm tones. You guys know the type of palettes that I like to use. And I'm also going to be swatching the palettes in their entirety up my arm and inserting those swatches so you guys could see how they swatch as well. So I really hope that you guys enjoy seeing this video all about my current favorite eyeshadow palettes, and if that is something you're interested in, make sure to keep on watching. I keep my everyday eyeshadow palettes on my vanity in this letter organizer. I've had this for years. I'm sure you guys have seen this in like past vanity tours. I got this at Staples a long time ago. I'm pretty sure if you guys look on Staples or like an office site or something like that, you will be able to find something like this. Basically, this is just made for a desk, and it has a couple of different slots for like envelopes and papers. But back in the day when makeup collections and organization videos were really popular, a lot of people used these letter organizers for their eyeshadow palettes, and I just thought it was an awesome idea. So if I can find something similar, I will have it linked down below. I do believe I have something like this in my Amazon shop under my makeup organization list if you guys are interested in that. It does fit a lot of palettes. Right now I have 8 palettes in there. As you guys can see, 3 slimmer palettes fit kind of going across, or you could even fit probably like 2 palettes back to back in here like I have these. I honestly could probably squeeze 3 more palettes in here for a total of 11 palettes in this organizer. So if you guys have like a smaller eyeshadow palette collection, this would probably be really great for that. This is what I used when I just had a couple of palettes before my addiction grew and I had to switch to the drawer. So let's just go ahead and jump on into talking about the actual palettes. I'm just gonna kind of go from the front to the back. So the first one I'm going to grab here is this Milani Bold Obsessions. I got this around the holiday time. Milani actually sent this to me in an amazing package. I'll zoom you guys in a little so we could get a little bit more detail on the palettes, but these palettes were some that I had always wanted to try from the drugstore. I had always heard really great things about these Milani palettes. I know they have a couple of different versions, but this one again is the Bold Obsessions, and this is what this palette looks like on the inside. Tell me this is not one of the most beautiful palettes that you guys have ever seen. I think I love this so much because it truly has like everything I could want in a palette. It has neutral shades, brown shades, warm red and orange shades, and it also has cool tone shades that go so far as being like blue and smoky. All of my favorite elements about a palette. It has a really great black, a really great cream shade up there. It is just overall gorgeous. I use this a ton around the holidays, especially with like these gold and red shades. These shades right here were super fun for New Year's Eve. This is a really great event palette, very fun for the holidays like I mentioned. On Milani's website, this retails for $10.99, which is not bad. Definitely more pricey than like e.l.f. or Wet n Wild, but the quality is really great, and you also get a lot more product compared to the eyeshadow palettes that e.l.f. and Wet n Wild have available. So Milani Bold Obsessions is definitely one of my recent obsessions. That was corny, but oh well. The next palette that I want to talk about is more of a recent favorite. I've had this maybe for like 1 or 2 months now in my collection, and that is the Colourpop Nude Mood eyeshadow palette. Colourpop eyeshadows are some of my favorite. Again, really great quality, very comparable to high end. I believe this palette retails for $14 or $16, so a little bit more pricey than like your average drugstore palette, but this is gorgeous. I got mine in the Juicy Jazz and Colourpop Young and in Love bundle that she did back for Valentine's Day. My boyfriend bought it for me as a Valentine's Day gift. I find myself reaching for this every single day, and I've just never found more perfect colors and perfect undertones for my skin tone. It has a really nice cream shade, which is so nice and creamy for the lid. There's a beautiful dark chocolatey brown, which I am someone that I prefer a dark chocolatey brown over a black in a palette. I find these chocolatey brown shades are just more flattering on me for the outer corner or for eyeliner or for deepening. There's transition shades, warmer shades, more red tones, a beautiful bronze, and my favorite part of this whole entire palette is the shade Wink Wink, which is actually a pressed Super Shock shadow. These little eyeshadows that Colourpop sells in these little pots. They press that same exact formula into the palette and it is stunning. I love this shade. So actually I'll get a little closer so hopefully you guys can see. It's like a mix of mattes. There's some shimmers. This one right here is a matte with some shimmers running through it. It is just such a beautiful palette. There is kind of a common theme with the palettes that are up here, obviously, because I love all of these shades, so they are all kind of similar. So again, sticking with neutrals and warm neutrals, the next palette that I love and I wear a lot here is the Sigma Warm Neutrals Volume 2 eyeshadow palette. I like to be as transparent as possible with you guys here on my channel, so I am a Sigma affiliate. This was gifted to me when I joined Sigma's influencer program, and I do have a discount code with Sigma if you guys want to shop. You get 10% off Sigma with the code Jackie Ann. It is an affiliate code. I will make commission, but I just wanted to be transparent about that and put that out there, but no pressure to shop or anything like that. All of that aside, even if I was not part of Sigma's influencer program and if I did not have a code, if I was not an affiliate, I still would love and rave about this eyeshadow palette because these are some of the most beautiful warm neutrals, but there's something about this palette that just stands out to me, and that is so unique. I don't know if it's the incorporation of like these olive green tones or like these berry tones, but this bottom row of the palette really switches up the whole look. Like if you guys see when I cover this, it's kind of like, okay, more warms, more neutrals, more cream shades, more champagnes. It kind of looks like something we've seen a million times here in the beauty community, but then when I remove my hand and this bottom row gets a chance to shine, it just adds like a really unique touch to the eyeshadow palette, and I love using these deep green shades and these berries. They're so pretty. I'm looking on Sigma's website right now, and this palette retails for $39. I think $40 for this palette is a little bit pricey considering that I do have other colors like this in my collection. But then at the same time, I am so happy that I have this palette because the colors are beautiful, the pigmentation and how they blend, you guys are gonna see in the swatches. But I also really like to travel with this palette as well, just because of the different array of looks I could do, the different colors, and the packaging is also really nice and lightweight, and it also does come with a nice mirror on the inside. So really great for every day, really nice for traveling, as I mentioned. Just overall a really solid eyeshadow palette that I like to use a lot. Jumping back, I have a little bit of an older favorite. I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing about this palette on my channel at this point. This is the Tarte Tartelette Toasted eyeshadow palette. I'm not going to lie to you guys, as much as I do enjoy using this palette, I have to say it's not something that I reach for very often, and I mostly keep it on my vanity because I love the tortoise shell type of look that it has. I love the mirrored gold, and I think it makes for a beautiful decor piece sitting up here on my vanity. But these are some really beautiful shades. I would say the name Toasted is very self-explanatory, has some beautiful warm shades. This actually kind of does remind me, actually all of these palettes up here are similar, you guys, let's not beat around the bush, but it does remind me a little bit of the Sigma Warm Neutrals with like these deeper like red shades and bronzy shades. They do have some similar qualities there. This is a very gorgeous palette, you guys. I'm not going to talk about it too much. As I said, I do love it. It is one of my favorites, but it hasn't been something I've been totally obsessing over lately. I just really love how it looks on display. So really solid quality. I actually recently used the other Tarte palette, the Tarte Lit in Bloom, here on my channel in my last Shop My Stash, if you guys want to go check that out. And I still really did enjoy how it looked, and I enjoy the qualities of these shadows a lot, but right now at the moment I haven't been reaching for it a ton. It's just kind of for decoration. So the next palette that I have here is another Colourpop palette. I love their shadows, you guys. They're such great quality, and this is their Sweet Talk pressed powder palette. One of the first things that drew me in about this palette was definitely the packaging. I don't even know what you would call this. It almost looks like this belongs in some sort of scrapbook. It's really artsy. I just love the packaging of this. But of course, not only is the outside of this palette beautiful, but also the inside. Oh my gosh, this palette gets me every time, you guys. This specific palette definitely leans a lot more warm, a lot more pinky peach. This really doesn't have a ton of like neutral brown to it. It's definitely like heavily warm, heavily pink, which I absolutely love to use this palette in the summertime. Here's a really nice close-up of all the colors in here. As I said, very heavily pink. The backdrop here of these shadows is like a holographic reflection. There are two shades in here, Prima Drama and Early Morning, which are not cosmetic grade glitters, and I do believe that's why this is called a pressed powder palette instead of an eyeshadow palette, because when something is not cosmetic grade in a palette such as a glitter or even like a pressed pigment, they can't call it an eyeshadow palette. So I do believe I remember reading that these two glitters aren't necessarily eye safe. So if you guys are looking into this palette, I would just be careful there, or kind of like use it at your own discretion. But other than that, the mattes in here are so beautiful. The beautiful creamy pigmented buttery formula that Colourpop always has. This palette retails for $18. I believe this is an Ulta exclusive right now. I did purchase this on Colourpop's website, but right now I am only seeing this at Ulta. And again, it does have a mix of those pressed glitters, which are really beautiful. They don't need any glitter glue. They do stick to the lids on their own. And then there is also another pressed Super Shock, which I love the pressed Super Shocks in the pans. It just makes doing my makeup really easy. Everything I want is in one palette. I could honestly stare at this palette all day, you guys. It is beautiful and definitely one that I reach for a ton in the summertime. It is one of my go-tos. Alright, so the last palettes that I'm going to go through that are in the back of my eyeshadow palette organizer are my ABH palettes. Now I know I talk about these palettes and show them a ton on my channel, but I'm sure you guys know these are just my all-time favorites. These are the ones that I reach for time and time again, and they are my favorite high-end formula of eyeshadow. So unfortunately, I don't think that the Sultry palette by ABH is available anymore. This was a limited edition launch. This was one that I was very unsure of the packaging when it first came out, because I honestly didn't love the packaging much, but it's honestly not messy at all, you guys, and it has grown on me the longer that I've had this palette. This is what the Sultry looks like. This one is definitely going to be a little bit more cool tone friendly, a little bit better for those days where I want some neutrals. I always say that if I'm going to an event or for like New Year's Eve or for more of like a nighttime sultry type of look, obviously very self-explanatory, this is the palette that I will reach for, because I just find these colors to be very nighttime friendly, because I love it to do smoky eyes, and this is one of the few more cool tone palettes that I still find to be very wearable on my personal skin tone, because there are still some bronzy shades, some brown, some like pinky shades that I like to incorporate, and then there are also a few of those silvery like smoky eye type of shades over here. So whenever I'm not using a warmer type of neutral on my lid and I want to do something a little cooler or more of a like serious intense smoky eye, I will go ahead and reach for the Sultry palette, because I just think it is perfect for that. Next, we have the Soft Glam palette by ABH. I have so much love for this palette. It's hard to even put into words how much I love this palette. I would say next to the Colourpop Nude Mood palette, if there was like another palette that I feel like I could have created myself that just embodies all of these shades that I like and all of the undertones and everything, it would be the Soft Glam, because honestly, if I were to create an eyeshadow palette, I just feel like it would look almost exactly like the Soft Glam because I just love these colors so much. The name is really accurate. There's just something about every single look that I've done with this palette that remains soft. It remains really wearable but still glam at the same time. I don't think I've ever done a look that I don't like with this palette. There's not a single color in this palette that I don't like. Obviously, you guys can see burnt orange is one of my favorite shades. I have so many palettes in my collection and I'm always getting new ones and testing new ones out, but I always honestly come back to this one, and I think if something crazy happened and I had to get rid of all my palettes and just keep one, I think I would be more than happy just keeping this one in my collection to use every day because it's all I need. Lastly, over here I have the ABH and Jackie Ann palette. This one comes in really close second to the Soft Glam. I kind of bounce back and forth between the two being my favorite because they're both equally as great for me, but they are very different at the same time. So this is the Jackie Ann collaboration with Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is so fun and so vibrant. It has very deep and rich colors, which I love. I love that Jackie Ann created something like this. As much as I love my Soft Glam palette, as you guys just saw, there's just something about the Jackie Ann that is just next level for me, and I think that's because it has a bigger array of shades. It's not just neutral browns, it's really everything that I could want all in one. There's just like a certain richness to the quality of this palette that makes it that much more fun to wear. Soft Glam will always be there for me and have my back, but Jackie Ann is fun. Like, this palette is when I want to do a fun look, something out there. I can also keep this palette neutral and use some of these like warm brown shades, golden shades, some of these champagnes, or you could just go out there and have fun with pinks and purples and reds, and all of these colors just pack such a huge punch on the lid, you guys. I just love this so much. I definitely, like I said, I definitely go back and forth between this one and the Soft Glam being my favorite, but this is just like all in one, everything I could ever want. It is beautiful and so much fun to play with. All right, you guys, so before I left, I just wanted to show you guys all of my current favorite eyeshadow palettes laid out next to each other, just because I think they look so beautiful. I definitely know they're similar, but the eyeshadow palette lover in me sees all of the beautiful uniqueness and differences in each of them. So I just wanted to show you guys how they all look side by side for some comparisons. That is going to complete this video talking all about my current favorite eyeshadow palettes. I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this video and spending time with me today. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel before you leave. I would love to have you guys here as part of my little YouTube fam. If you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, maybe I'll do more videos like this in the future as well. Make sure to click that notification bell down below and you'll get notified every single time that I upload a new video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.